You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Most people spend their lives dreaming of the finish line. They set New Year's resolutions. They write vision boards. They declare, "This is my year." They want the wealth. They want the freedom. They want the body, the relationship, the business. They want the boom on their dashboard, the viral moment, the breakthrough, the overnight success. But in the Stillness Smithy, we know that a goal is just a wish. A system is the work. I have spent the last 2 years learning to repair the hardware of others. I have cracked open phones that people swore were dead and brought them back to life. I have spent months learning the logic of code, the way a single function can cascade through an entire application. And here is the truth I discovered. A phone doesn't work because it wants to. It works because the circuits follow a path. Current flows through copper because the resistance is lower than the air around it. The phone doesn't need motivation, it needs architecture. Your life is the same. Your habits are the circuits of your soul. If you feel stagnant, if you feel like you aren't moving forward, it isn't because you lack motivation. It isn't because you don't want it badly enough. It is because your internal hardware is broken. You have bad pathways, corrupted code, short circuits. You are trying to run a high-level life on a low-level system. And then you wonder why you keep crashing. In web development, we know that one wrong character can crash the entire system. One missing semicolon, one misplaced bracket, one line of bad code, and the screen goes dark. Everything stops, not because of a lack of effort, but because of a flaw in the design. Habit is the code of the master smith. He doesn't wake up and hope the iron turns red. He doesn't wait for inspiration to strike. He follows a ritual. He sweeps the floor at the same time every morning. He pumps the bellows with the same rhythm. He strikes the iron with the same breath. Exhale on impact, inhale on the lift. He has moved beyond decision. He has reached the stage of automation. Most of you are exhausted because you are making too many choices. Every single day you wake up and debate, should I work out? Should I write? Should I send that email? Should I make that call? You are thinking about working instead of just working. You are paying the overthinking tax because you haven't built your architecture yet. Every decision costs energy. Every maybe drains your battery. Every moment of hesitation is a moment the iron cools. A system removes the weight of choice. It creates a path so clear that your body follows it even when your mind is tired. It allows you to strike the iron even when your heart is cold, even when you don't feel like it. There is a Japanese word I have been studying at 10 p.m. every night, Shukan. It means habit, but it implies something deeper, something the English word doesn't quite capture. It implies a long-standing practice that shapes the character, not just what you do, but who you become through the doing. In the old days of Kyoto, a master wouldn't even let an apprentice touch the hammer for the first year. Can you imagine? A year of just watching, just being present. The apprentice's only job was to be present, to build the habit of observation, to learn the smell of the fire and the sound of the steel. To understand that mastery isn't about one perfect strike, it's about showing up to the forge every single day. You want the results real quick. You want the transformation in 30 days. You want the algorithm to bless you, the investors to call, the world to notice. But the fastest way to get there is to stop looking at the destination and start looking at the strike. One strike, then another, then another. Not next week, not when you're ready, not when conditions are perfect. Today, now, this moment. When your habits are forged in iron, you stop caring if you are tired. You stop caring if the views are static. You stop checking the scoreboard after every swing. You just follow the code. You just hit the iron. Mastery is what happens when the routine becomes the reward. When you no longer need the external validation because the work itself is the prize. Tonight, before you sleep, audit your hardware. Look at the last 24 hours. Not what you intended to do, what you actually did. Not what you wish happened, what actually happened. Did your circuits lead you to the $30,000 path? Did they move you toward mastery, toward strength, toward the life you claim you want? Or did they lead you back to the rusted gate of your old life, back to distraction, to comfort, to the same patterns that have kept you stuck for years? Stop trying to change your life. Start changing your system. Build better circuits, write better code, design a path that your future self can follow. Even on the days when motivation is gone, when the world feels heavy, when no one is watching. You have the fire. You have the hammer. Now build the tracks. Make your habits so strong that failure becomes harder than success. Make your system so clear that the default path leads to greatness. One day, time will leave you. Make sure it leaves, knowing you weren't just a collection of wishes. Make sure it leaves, knowing you were a masterpiece of design. Welcome to the 10th strike,